Kandi Burruss, the Grammy-winning artist and star of Real Housewives of Atlanta, just shocked the world with news that left fans reeling. Yep, you heard that right. After 11 years of marriage, Kandi and her husband Todd Tucker were officially going their separate ways. But that wasn't the whole story. You won't believe what Kandi revealed next. In a heartfelt, emotional breakdown, Kandi shared a truth that no one saw coming. Todd had been hiding something massive from her for years. Something so huge that it made the already painful divorce feel like a betrayal on a whole new level. At first, everything seemed fine between them. Sure, they had their ups and downs, but what marriage doesn't? They were a power couple in the spotlight, handling everything with grace. Or so it seemed. Just days before this big news broke, Kandi was on stage at Bravo praising Todd in front of thousands of fans, thanking him for sticking by her through the rumors and drama they had faced. It looked like their relationship was solid. They were partners in every sense of the word. But then, out of nowhere, Kandi dropped the bombshell. This is where it gets interesting. Kandi revealed that Todd had been living a double life. That's right, he had a secret second family. And here's the kicker, he had been married to someone else all along. Imagine the gut-wrenching feeling she must have experienced. After everything they went through together, to find out that the man she loved had been hiding a whole other life from her was beyond devastating. Kandi admitted she'd suspected something was off for a while, but nothing could have prepared her for this. She said it wasn't easy for her to finally speak out about Todd's secret second marriage. "I wanted to tell the world the truth for so long, but I had to keep it in," she confessed, her voice breaking. After all these years, to discover that I had been lied to, it was like a punch to the gut. She opened up about how much this betrayal hurt her, how it made the divorce even harder to go through. After 11 years, to be lied to like this is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with, she explained. Now, the real shock came when Kandi spoke about the weight of this secret. For months, she had been sitting on this bombshell, wondering whether or not she should reveal the truth. But eventually, she couldn't take it anymore. "It was eating me up inside," she said. "I had to speak out."
The world deserved to know what was really going on. It's one thing to end a marriage, but to have your entire relationship turned upside down like this? Kandi wasn't just facing the end of a marriage, she was facing the reality that everything she thought she knew about Todd, everything she believed in, had been a lie. What makes this story different? This wasn't just any celebrity breakup. Most of the time, celebrity divorces come with public fights, accusations, and drama. But this was something else. Kandi wasn't out here throwing shade at Todd or airing their dirty laundry. No, she was just revealing the truth, the shocking truth that she'd kept hidden for far too long. Todd had been living a life that no one, not even Kandi, had any idea about, and that made it all the more heartbreaking. And then, as the dust started to settle, Kandi got even more vulnerable. She talked about how this betrayal left her questioning everything. "How do you trust someone after all this?" she asked, her voice filled with raw emotion. "I spent years thinking I knew him. I thought we were building something together, but this whole time there was another side to him I never saw." For Kandi, it wasn't just the marriage that was over, it was the trust, the foundation they had built that was completely shattered. The craziest part of all of this? The fact that Kandi had been living this nightmare behind the scenes, trying to put on a brave face for the public, while secretly dealing with one of the biggest heartbreaks of her life. She hadn't just lost a husband, she'd lost the man she thought she knew. And even now, after everything had come to light, Kandi still had to deal with the emotional wreckage. "I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for the truth," she admitted. Now, the world had seen a glimpse of the real pain behind Kandi's public persona. And it wasn't just about her, it was about the betrayal of someone who had been with her through thick and thin. The man who had always been by her side, the man she thought she could rely on, had secretly been living a completely different life. For Kandi, this news wasn't just about the end of a marriage, it was about a truth that had been hidden for too long. And now, it was all out in the open. But here's where it takes another twist. The reality of what Kandi had just revealed hit everyone hard. Todd's secret second marriage wasn't something anyone saw coming, not even Kandi. And now, as the details started to unfold, fans were left reeling, questioning everything they thought they know about this couple. How could Todd have kept this secret for so long? Why didn't Kandi see the signs? These questions were just the beginning, and as the story unfolded, it became clear that there was a lot more to this story than anyone could have guessed. As Kandi's heartbreaking revelation continued to spread, fans couldn't stop talking about it. The news was everywhere, and people were shocked by the twists and turns in this story that no one could have predicted.
But Kandi's breakdown wasn't just a reaction to Todd's betrayal. It was also the start of her healing process. After years of keeping this secret, the floodgates had finally opened, and Kandi was now ready to confront everything that had been hidden. She wasn't going to hold back anymore. For Kandi, the hardest part wasn't just finding out about Todd's secret marriage. It was the realization that she had spent so many years believing in something that wasn't real. "I thought I had a solid foundation, but it turns out it was all built on lies," she said, wiping away tears. It's hard to swallow that truth, especially when you've spent so long building a life with someone. The gravity of what she had learned about Todd's double life hit her like a ton of bricks. It wasn't just the lies, but the fact that her entire world had been altered in an instant. Kandi shared how she felt utterly blindsided by the discovery. "I thought I knew Todd inside and out. We were in this together, every step of the way. But now, I can't help but wonder how much of it was real." She reflected on their relationship, the highs and lows, and how this betrayal changed everything. The shock wasn't just from the news itself. It was from the realization that the person she had built her life around had been living a completely different reality. As the details of Todd's second marriage started to leak out, the reality of the situation became even more devastating. The secret family Todd had been hiding was something Kandi had never suspected, and it left her questioning everything she thought she knew about love, trust, and loyalty. "It's hard to understand how someone you loved could do this to you," Kandi said. "We were supposed to be partners, but Todd had his own agenda, his own secret life that I never knew about. This wasn't just about the end of a marriage. This was about the loss of trust, the loss of everything they had built together." For Kandi, the hardest part was admitting that she had been in the dark for so long. "I wasn't just betrayed by Todd. I was betrayed by the life we built. And that's the hardest pill to swallow." She spoke about the emotional weight of discovering the truth and how it felt to know that Todd had been leading a double life for so long. "I didn't just lose a husband. I lost the idea of who I thought he was. I lost my partner in every sense of the word," she explained, her voice breaking. The pain she felt was palpable, and it was clear that Kandi was still processing the full impact of what had happened. But here's where it gets even crazier. Despite everything, Kandi's approach to the scandal was nothing short of extraordinary. She didn't lash out at Todd. She didn't drag him through the mud for the public to see. Instead, she kept her composure and chose to focus on what was best for her and her family. "This isn't about public drama or revenge. This is about me finding peace," she said. Kandi made it clear that her priority wasn't tearing Todd down. It was about rebuilding her own life and focusing on her future.
The craziest part of all, even though Kandi was dealing with one of the biggest betrayals of her life, she didn't let it consume her. She chose to rise above the pain and focus on her personal growth. "I've learned that I can't let this define me," Kandi said. "I'm not going to let this be the thing that breaks me. I'm stronger than that, and I'm going to keep moving forward." It was clear that Kandi wasn't going to let this scandal derail her life. She was determined to move on, to focus on her career, her children, and her own happiness. However, Kandi couldn't ignore the toll this betrayal had taken on her. The emotional strain of dealing with Todd's secret life and the subsequent divorce was something she had to face head-on. "It's hard, but I'm learning to heal," she said. "Every day I'm taking steps forward, even though it's painful." She admitted that it wasn't going to be easy, but she was ready to take on this challenge and come out stronger on the other side. But here's the twist that no one expected. Despite the betrayal, Kandi still had to deal with the aftermath of the divorce and the public fallout. While some fans were shocked by her grace, others were left wondering how Todd could have done something so terrible to someone who had always supported him. "This isn't just a breakup, this is a betrayal of everything," Kandi said. But what made the situation even more complicated was that Todd, despite everything, had still been in touch with Kandi. They were co-parenting and keeping things amicable for the sake of their children. It's complicated, but we're figuring it out, she said. For our kids, we have to make it work. As the news spread further, more and more details about Todd's secret life came to light. Fans couldn't believe what they were hearing. How had Todd managed to keep such a big secret for so long? Why hadn't anyone noticed the signs? People were speculating everywhere, asking if there had been clues along the way. The more Kandi spoke out, the more questions emerged. But Kandi was done playing games. She wasn't going to let the media spin this story into something it wasn't. This is my truth. I've been through